been something that has been thought about for years. It has been prayed over for years, and I have waited until I knew that I had the confidence and the experience and the setup personally to be mayor and to run for mayor of the city of Hanceville. And as far as changing things, which I know Kenneth, he's done the best that he knows how. And I am asking you for the opportunity to give me 4 years. I've lived here in the city of Hanceville for 47 years. Most of you know me. Most of you know my family. They're honorable people. They're kind people. We're Christian people. This is my home. And like Kenneth and like all of you, we're just always wanting to make Hanceville a better place to live. And can I do that? And well, maybe I can't, but we can. Thank you.
4 years ago, I had a job. I worked for the city of Coleman for 22 years. And I seen what our city had, just the array of our city and all the troubles that had been happening in the last 4 years previously. And I really wasn't ready to retire from law enforcement, but my love is in Hanceville. I care about Hanceville. I worked for Hanceville. I was on the fire department over 20 years here. Most of y'all know my mom and dad was involved with the city for years. And, you know, at Hanceville, I kind of felt like we got to the point a lot of folks had looked down on us, and because of all the stuff that was going on. And my motto has been through this last 4 years, positive, progressive leadership, because I don't want a bunch of negative around me. And as you see, I've been personally attacked during this campaign, but I've remained positive, and I'm going to continue to remain positive. And I'm going to push Hanceville every way I can. I'm on several different committees, a chamber of committees. I go down and meet with folks in Montgomery. If I have to go to Washington, I do that. But I'm going to push Hanceville. My job in Hanceville is to be the biggest cheerleader that Hanceville's got. And I know I don't look like a cheerleader, and that's okay. But that's my job, is to promote Hanceville, be positive, progressive. And I think the things you look around the last 4 years, the new businesses we've got, the new businesses that are coming, I'm very proud of. And it's not a one person, it's a team. I prayed 4 years ago and I said, Lord, if you don't let a good city council get elected, don't let me get elected. And he blessed us with a good city council. We've all worked together. Hadn't always agreed, but we've always worked together. And that's what it takes, a team effort. And I'm a team player, and I work for you. You don't work for me, I work for you. And I think I've always been proactive. If someone has called, that's it. Thank you. A small town mayor can't win the fight of do we go out for alcohol or do we go against it. I've told several times in council meeting, you go home, you think about it, you pray about it, and that's a decision that you need to make between you and the good Lord. Now, since we've been handed the decision of the citizens, I think we've done a very good job of keeping things nice and tight. You know, it don't matter what I believe personally. It's what you believe and what you want. But you don't see a bunch of old beer signs around. You don't see drunks laying on every corner. That's not going to happen. One of the TV stations asked me, can you use any extra income? Well, it's kind of a stupid question because, sure, small towns are strapped. The economy is tough right now. People's out of work. We can use every penny that we can get. And now that we're wet, I want the revenue, and I don't think there's nothing wrong with that. So, you know, yes, let's take the revenue and let's use it the best we can. That ordinance, City of Coleman took a lot out of our ordinance and used it in their ordinance. It's a good ordinance. We protect our churches, we protect our schools and our daycares, and I think that's what it's all about. It's a small town. We can live together. We can disagree, but we can still be friends. And I think that's what it's all about, that we have to push our city forward, and that's it.
Well, as far as alcohol having an effect already on Hanceville, I believe it's too premature to tell. As far as praying about it, I already know what the answer is to that. I've drank alcohol, and all of the time that I was drinking or the times that I have drank alcohol, I knew it was wrong. I may be ignorant about a lot of things, but I'm not ignorant about that. And I will say that I have not seen one good thing come out of alcohol. But I will say that I didn't support it. My wife and I both voted against it. But since it's here, I believe that we can, everything in moderation. And as far as the revenue, I'm thankful for. It's here. The majority of the people voted for it. And so the majority has spoken. So we'll see. I don't know what is going to come out of it. I don't know what the end result. As far as it being good, I don't know. But that's what we have law enforcement for. Everyone has a freedom of choice. And we'll just have to depend on people's intelligence and choices that they make. And rely on that to let alcohol play out and do what it does. So. I've had many jobs. I began as a carpenter at the age of 16, started making a living. I built my first house when I was 18. I had a brand new home when I was 18. I did all types of construction work. I know about water. I worked with Coleman County Water Department for 5 years. I know a lot about water. I served on the Hanceville City Council for 4 years, which really wasn't long enough to be a professional, but I did learn a lot. My family is very political, and as far as people skills, I have a lot of skills, and I'm sitting here trying to think. Police department. I worked for Coleman County Sheriff's Office for 10 years, 3.5 years of that as a narcotics investigator. I worked crime suppressant. I worked the jail, and I have a lot of experience. I have a lot of experience in life. I have wisdom. I have knowledge, enough wisdom and knowledge to do my part if I am elected mayor. Otherwise, I would not run. I have been successful at everything that I've done, thanks to God. But I don't never step up, take a job, or run for any office that I have any doubt. So there is no doubt that I can't be a mayor that you will be very, very proud of. I promise you, if you give me 4 years, you will be very, very proud of the job that I do. And that I am very, very confident in.
I believe that I'm a good leader. I believe that all the years that I worked with the Coleman Police Department, I retired as a lieutenant. I'm able to take men. I'm able to work them. I'm able to supervise them. There's accountability. Now, you may see Kenneth Nell out there on the side of the road picking up trash. And some people say, why would the mayor pick up trash? I'm going to tell you why. Because if those guys out there working for the city feels like their mayor thinks he's too good to do what they're doing, I don't think that you will get out of them what you ought to get out of them. I'm not any better than anybody else. Us in Hanceville is just as good as anybody, though. And I'm so proud of Hanceville. And I tell you, when those April tornadoes hit, we all came together. We all worked together. I was so proud of the people in Hanceville. That's what I told the people from FEMA. You wasn't waiting on, people wasn't standing at the corner waiting on FEMA for folks at Hanceville to come and save you. They got out and helped their neighbor. And I think my ability to talk with people, I think my ability to lead as a team member, to lead people as a team member, pulling the team together. We've got a great police chief. We've got a great fire chief. We've got a great street superintendent. Got a great city clerk. And it takes a team, and you got to pull this team together. Now, do you always agree with everything that I do? Probably not. But I guarantee you we can sit down and we can talk about it. I'll respect your opinion. Hope you respect mine. And we will talk about it. And I think that's probably one of the best things about me. I can sit down and talk with with the dirt poor person over here or the senator and the congressman. And I sure do that. And I go to Montgomery and I ask for y'all for money and to Washington, and that's what you got to do. The biggest thing, I'm not lazy. I'll work for you. First of all, let me say this. Being a police officer for 27 years, you can't put everybody in jail and write everybody a ticket and make everybody like it. Not many people that I ever put in jail said, "Oh, thank you for putting me in jail." So we understand that it's a very hard job. It's a very tough job. But the first thing I done when I came here 4 years ago when I was knocking on doors, people asked me, "What you going to do about this police department?" First thing we're going to do is we're going to make sure that people have the proper training they need. The second thing we're going to do, there's going to be accountability. Now, if you come to my office and you complain on a policeman, first thing I want to do is get the chief in there and let's let him hear everything that's going on. And we're going to look at it. We're going to investigate it. We're going to be fair to the public. I don't want our police officers being punching bags for nobody, but I want them to treat the public with respect too. And we have done a lot of training. Right now, I would probably say for the size department the city of Hanceville has, we've probably got more instructors and more training than's been done in years. Have we made mistakes? Well, sure we have. But I'll tell you this, I'll let you look at the records, come down there, our books is always open. Look at the last 4 years in your police department and look at the previous 4 years and let's compare lawsuits. If you want to come down and look at them, we'll be glad to sit down and talk about it and show you. But there's accountability. And when our guys do good, we pat them on the back. When the guys do bad, we tell them, you're going to have to do better, or you're going to have to change. We take the corrective, what we need to get this fixed. So that's my stance.
Well, that was a question I hoped it wouldn't come up, but it did. But anyway, if y'all read my article in the paper, it was the things that I said about the police department. I didn't mean it in a way to hurt no one or didn't mean it in a negative way. And the words that I said were not the opinions of anyone, because I hadn't started campaigning then. I hadn't started knocking on doors before I said what I said in the paper. Police work is something that I can tell you about. And from what I've seen from the Hanceville Police Department, I also put in there that I'm sure that they're doing what they're told and doing what they believe to be in the best interest of the department. But the things that I said, again, were not the opinions of anyone other than what I have seen personally with our Hanceville Police Department. I don't have anything against our police department. It's just that from what I have seen, I think that a little bit more heart, a little bit more compassion could be presented to the people. When I began knocking on doors, I'm not going to mince words. 90% of the complaints, when there was a complaint, was about the police department. Now, I'm like Kenneth, there has never been anyone praise me for putting them in jail. And it's not a good feeling, I'm sure. But I just see compassion and care. Sometimes it's like Barney Fife said whenever he was on the stand, sometimes it's not always so much by the book, but in your heart. Sometimes when you can help somebody, show people that you care. Show them. Don't just talk it. Show them. Act like you care. Which I know this has been said over and over and over, but the relationship between the townspeople and our city government. That I would truly, and y'all have heard this said by folks running too, but people, when I say something, it comes from my heart, deep down in my heart, and are things that have been thought over. It's an open book, and I want the citizens to know that they can come to me 1-on-1, 5-on-1, I don't care, and talk to me about any issue. I don't know everything there is to know. I'm not perfect. and neither is no one else. But I want the citizens to know that that's one thing that I want to accomplish. As far as the relationship with the city government now, I don't know. Another thing that I'd like to do is I would like to see the street department get cabbed air-conditioned tractors. That is a big thing to me. There has been people harmed, getting attacked by bees. As far as the heat, we have tractors out there that produce a lot of heat. And I told one of the city workers this morning, if I was elected, that I would do all that I could to get our guys some air-conditioned tractors. As far as the third thing, if I am elected and run 4 years, I want to hear people say that we made a good choice. A good choice.
First thing we've got to do is we've got to get out from under the sewer moratorium. The Water Board has made some choices that was hard choices, but when you're getting slapped with $30,000 and $40,000 fines, you have no choice but to try to get out from under that. And all of us is the ones paying for it. So first thing we've got to do, and we've been working on this steadily, but the first thing we've got to do is try to get out from under the sewer moratorium. Think it can happen. Went to Montgomery probably a month ago and talked with Adam. They indicated that probably October, November that they think that will happen if we continue on and not have any violations in the next several months. The next thing is water. Water is so very important. For Hanceville, the best situation was years ago when I was on the water board and took some heat back then. It was a tough decision to make. We cranked the well back up. Is the well water perfect? No, it's not. But I'm going to tell you, when Duck River cranks up and you start paying, these county residents starts paying 60 and 70% more than residents in Hanceville, there's going to be some screaming going on. So the next thing is we've got to push forward to develop another well for our water source. Another thing that's got to be done, as y'all seen on the 1033 program, we have received several $1 million worth of equipment. A couple of weeks ago, we received a ladder truck. What does that mean to you? These buildings at Wallace State, and they're beautiful, and I'm all for Wallace. But the problem is when you have 10 and 8 and 10 and 12-story buildings, ISO requires you to have a ladder truck. Well, we've got one now. And at some time, we hope in the next year or so, we hope that ISO rating will go down. What will that mean to you? Your insurance will go down. So I think that's very, very important that we work real hard on that to work to where you have more money in your pocket that you can maybe come out to the new Dollar General Market store or warehouse or somewhere and spend money in Hanceville. Thanks. That was in 4 years, that's the best decision that I and the city council made. It gives me cold chill bumps thinking about the tornadoes. We saved you taxpayers over $7 million by the decision we made. So you tell me, is it wise for us to pay $8.50 a cubic yard to clean up the mess that was around town, or should we wait on the Army Corps of Engineers and pay $48? You say, what does it matter? The government's paying the biggest part of it. That's not true. There's percentages at the very end that each city is going to have to pay for. And when the city of Coleman and when Coleman County starts paying their 10% of that $48, it don't take a real rocket scientist to figure out 10% of $8.50 is a heck of a lot better than 10% of $48.
Well, the way I understand, that is a question. That's one of the mayor's questions that I don't know that much about, other than I have an idea of how much money was borrowed, somewhere around $550,000, somewhere around in there. I don't know. I would just hope that the town would have had the money to fork over the cash themselves and then hope that FEMA could pay us back. I don't know. But, and I'm not sure whether or not we are going to get reimbursed for all of the money we borrowed. That I have questions my own self about that. So as far as answering anything in depth, I can't answer that. So that's all I know about that one. Well, again, that's one of the mayor questions. Just have the right attitude, knowing people, meeting people, and, you know, when a good business comes along, you know, I think that if the mayor and the city council and in all of our city seats have good attitudes, good personalities, that it's going to get around. And that, I believe that one thing there will draw business into the city of Hanceville. And I'm sure too, you know, because of alcohol, it's, you know, it goes without saying that, you know, in the next 4, 8 to 10 years, you are really going to see Hanceville grow significantly because of alcohol. So that's one thing that I'm glad of. And as far as drawing business, I'm open to all comments. I'm open to any business. I'm all for business and growth.
Well, I would say look around Hanceville. I would say CVS Drugs. I work with CVS Drugs to move from the old location to new location. They told me the other day their business has just about doubled. What did that mean? That meant we had to work through ADM issues. We had to work through EPA issues. We had to work through the Stouts Mountain Railroad Company that still had an active right-of-way through that property. Been out of business for probably, over 100 years, I would imagine. The new Dollar General Market store, we work with those folks. I agree, it is about attitude. You've got to make people know that you want them in your city. We have been working with a company, and I'm not at liberty right now to tell you, but I really and truly believe within the next 2 weeks you will hear a major announcement to the city of Hanceville to the tune of about 16 jobs the first year, 25 jobs at the year's end, about a $2.5 million investment in our industrial park. And that's by going out, meeting these people, talking to these people. It's a climate. Nobody wants to come to your town with a bunch of arguing and fussing and fighting. Nobody wants to. Now, just look back at the previous 4 years, and not going to get into that a whole lot. But look at that. Nothing happened. Nothing positive. So we remain positive. We've met with these people. We've talked with these people. A couple things that we've worked with them. It just didn't quite work out. We've acquired several more acres over at the industrial site by the underpath over there. I think we have about 15, maybe 16 acres there now. It'll be an attractive site for a spur, for a railroad spur. So one thing that we did do this past year, we went to Montgomery. We put our city on display down there at the tourism conference. The city of Hanceville had a display down there that we were able to show what we have in Hanceville. This beautiful building, the monastery, industrial sites, some of our homes, that's how we market Hanceville. It's not where I want it to be. The tornadoes took a terrible drain on us. At one point, we had 19 extra employees that we had to have to monitor, to document all this. In the long run, it's going to be good. We feel like right now FEMA owes us somewhere around $700,000. Yes, we had to borrow $550,000, but the deal is with FEMA, you have got to pay that up front first. It's a reimbursement program. And when I came in here, previously when I was on the council, I left the council and we had $1.2 million in the bank. When I came back in as mayor, we had a little under $400,000 in the bank. We got better than $200,000 in the bank now. It's not what I want to have, but I think considering our auditor put out a good audit report, considering what we went through, what we've had to pay out, I think it's not exact. I would feel a lot more comfortable if we had about $500,000 in the bank, because a couple $100,000 is not a lot of money for a city. It's a lot of money to me. But for a city, it's not as much. And we've done so many things to try to cut expenses. There's not been the first new police car bought for the Hanceville Police Department since I've been mayor. We went to surplus. We brought used cars. We bought cars that was retired from the ABC board with 30 and 40,000 miles on them. That's one way that we have cut costs. We've started doing our mowing on our right-of-ways. We don't use bush hogs. I think you can say they've looked better than they've looked in years. We use industrial lawnmowers. It's a lot more efficient. It's a lot quicker. The job looks so much better. We pick up our trash. That costs a lot of money. It's a shame that we spend 40 hours a week picking up trash, but that's money I feel is just wasted, but you got to do it. So consider what we've been through, the tornado and everything. I think we're in pretty darn good shape. And
well, that's a question there that I have went through financial hardships myself many times, and I've learned down through the years since I have been working personally that you cannot pay out more than is coming in. And I'm a firm believer that if you watch the pennies, the dollars will take care of themselves. When I served on the Hanceville City Council, when I left office then, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, we had 1.2 million, something like that, in the bank, which still, for the city of Hanceville, to me, is pennies. And that is another thing, if I am elected mayor, is to save money. Because you never know what's going to happen, like the tornadoes that came through. You can't run a city efficiently without money. And I don't believe in borrowing your way out of debt, which our politicians is good at that. Not the city of Hanceville, but the White House is bad about it. I just believe that I will be able, with the townspeople and the city council, to save money. I'm a biggie on that. And as far as paying out more than what is coming in, it's one thing I'll never do.
Where do you see the city of Hanceville in 4 years?
In a way better financial state that it is in now. I would like to see the city of Hanceville. I've never understood the relationship between City Hall and the water department. That is another complaint that people have come up to me about. Water rates, water. And I don't blame them, because I have complained my own self. I don't know what's going on there, but I would like to see City Hall have more control and power and say, even though the water department has a board, I would like to see City Hall have more control in the water department than it does now. And I want to see those held accountable. I want to be able to give the people answers as to why their water bills are what they are. After so many people complains, everybody isn't wrong. The citizens of the city of Hanceville are not stupid. But there are questions that are left unanswered. And the questions that are unanswered, I want to answer them. I want to answer them for you, and I want to know myself. There is a lot of question marks in my mind and in the minds of the citizens of Hanceville. And I promise I will find out the answers.
Well, I promise you this, what you've seen the last 4 years out of me is what you'll see the next 4 years. We ain't slowing up. We're going to keep pushing forward. We're going to keep holding Hanceville high. We're going to push forward. And, hey, I'm proud of Hanceville. This is the best job in the world. I'll be honest with you. Somebody asked me 6 months ago to run for county commission. I said I wouldn't have it. This is a job I want. As mayor, you don't declare whether you're a Democrat or you're a Republican. I've got good friends on both sides. I go meet with the senator that's Republican. I go meet with this one's Democrat, this, that, and the other. It's really a good position to be in because you can work with everybody. What do I see, though? I see the city being on a little bit better financial situation. And again, I say, and the books is always open. If there's unanswered questions, it's your own fault. Now, I'm just going to be honest with you. It's your own fault. Because if you got a question that you need answered, come and see us. Those books are open. If you don't know where to look, we'll show you where to look. We do a financial audit every year. Audit's in good shape. No wrongdoing. But again, I would like to see the city on a little bit better, firmer financial situation. It won't be if you have another tornado. I can tell you that right now. It's not going to happen. We'll do the best we can do, and that's all you can do. But I think pushing forward with the sewer, pushing forward to develop the water, I'm going to tell you something. In a couple years, you might gripe about the water bill right now, but I can show you some places in Jefferson County that pays $90 before you flush the commode the first time. Now, that's the truth. And I know none of us want to pay those bills, but somebody's got to pay for the $5.5 million upgrades that just happened. And, and we know who those some people are. It's us. But we're going to continue to work for grants, and not loans, but grants. Absolutely. I've worked with Dr. Halsey for 3.5 years, and I believe it's coming. I think part of Wallace is not in the city limits of Hanceville, but there's really no reason why I'm in so much trouble. My phone just went off. Sorry, I thought I had it cut off. But there's no reason for Wallace State not to be in the city of Hanceville. Absolutely none. We're proud of Wallace State. Let me tell you something. When I go out here in these other communities, out and about in the state, I say I'm the mayor of Hanceville, Alabama, home of Wallace State. And Wallace State is one of the brightest gems that we have. And our good friends in Coleman, I love them to death, but they'd love to have Wallace State in Coleman. But it's right here in downtown Hanceville, Alabama. And I definitely think that that's very important. One reason it's important, we have several people on the backside of Wallace who wants to come into the city of Hanceville. And until Wallace State comes in, they can't come in because they have to touch. You have to touch, this has to touch here, here, and here for them to come into the city. What does that mean to the city of Hanceville? When they come into the city, then they'll pay property taxes for municipality. That's where we get revenue. Look, y'all, you like your limbs picked up every week? We don't charge you. That's free. It costs money. You like your fire department responding? Went over 1,200 calls this past year. We got a man set at that station waiting to come and assist you. We got a police department that will be there to help you. And all that costs money. It costs a lot of money. We operate around $2 million a year. It's a business, and you do the best you can with the business. Unfortunately, a little disaster comes along, and it kind of knocks you off your feet. But again, I'm proud of Hanceville, and I'm proud of the citizens. And I'd stand against anybody with our citizens in our town. I'll fight tooth and nail, but that's I think that's important.
That is a question that has been asked for years, and me and my wife both, we've talked about this, and I don't know what else to say other than that Wallace State is a big deal, a huge deal, and to have that set in the city of Hanceville I am amazed by it. I don't even know how Wallace got here. I guess I need to study up on history. But Wallace is what it is. Hanceville is what it is. And if I am elected mayor, I will do whatever I can to better Wallace and hope that Wallace will do everything it could to better Hanceville. When I served on the city council, myself and I believe Kenneth, several others came and spoke with Dr. Halsey about putting a crosswalk here by Hardee's there for the students to cross over safe if they wanted to walk. And it kind of got swept under the rug, but that is something that I would still want to look to about getting a crosswalk right there by Hardee's 31 with an elevator big enough to put a bicycle in and cross over. So that's all I got to say about that. Just what an honor it is to have the privilege and the freedom to run for mayor. And like I said, to begin with, this is something that has been thought about for years. I wouldn't have qualified or put my name in the hat if I had any doubt about me being a mayor that can do his duties well enough to do the job. So I'm honored, and I couldn't wait to get here. I'm looking forward to speaking to a lot of you. I hadn't knocked on every door. We have given our best shot. We still got a couple or 3 weeks to go, and I'm looking forward to talking to more people, and I would appreciate your vote. So even if you're not voting for me, use the freedom that you have. Come to the polls, vote, and I hope to see you there.
I'm different, Rodell. I want you to vote for me. If you don't vote for Rodell, vote for me. Just kidding. If I get reelected as your mayor, I'm going to continue to do what I'm doing right now. I will have an open ear for you. I will have an open policy. Your council meetings will continue as they have been for the last 4 years open. You need to come and speak at your council meetings. You are welcome to do that. You didn't have that before. I will work just as hard for Rodell Knight as I will for you. I like Rodell. Me and him went to school together, and we have no ill will towards each other. But I think Hanceville, just look around. Just look around. And if you can say that the city of Hanceville you feel like is in worse shape, just look around, than what it was 4 years ago, then don't vote for Kenneth Nell. Vote for Rodell. Vote for somebody else. But if you can say, look in your heart, and you don't make the decision, you pray about it too. You pray about it. You think about it and you pray about it. And if you can look around and say, our city is growing, we're proud of it, it's clean, and I feel like there's people in office that I can talk to if I have a problem, and they will listen, and they care, because I care about you. That's not the politician speaking. That's Kenneth Nell, resident of Hanceville, Alabama for all his life. I care about you. I'll be out there just as hard working for you every day of the week as I was on the day of the tornado hit. Well, I might not work 20 hours a day, but anyway, it was close to that. But I will be there for you because I care about you. I care about Hanceville. My heart's in Hanceville. No, I don't want to be county commissioner. No, I don't want to be representative. No, I don't want to be governor. I want to be mayor of Hanceville, because to me, that's a bigger honor than any of those other. Thank you so much, and please vote for me.